that fish to get off. Oh my goodness, guys. That's the one of the day, folks. Alright, good morning, folks. First bass of the morning here. Oh, let's try to get him unhooked without my rod falling in the water. And he was caught on the jig on this beautiful fall morning. It is September 24th, and we got our first bass right there. Nothing impressive, but nonetheless, we're not getting skunked today. So it's a really peaceful morning. There's next to no wind this morning, and we got some cloud cover that's supposed to burn off a little later in the day. But right now, I'm just pitching a jig into wood. With the low wind and the clouds, I feel like those fish are going to push up shallow, but I'm not so certain they'll want to do much to expose themselves. If they are up shallow, they're going to be in some thick cover. And I think the fact that the water clarity is the best it's been since spring, like, I think that's only going to push them into thicker cover even more, because it's a way for those fish to hide themselves in plain sight. So that is what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do to key in this morning. We're going to just fish some really thick cover. We're going to throw it right down in that stuff. We're not going to be bashful. We're going to get that jig up in there, and we're just going to fish it very thoroughly. Another one coming off shallow cover, guys. Another pretty good one. Looky there, guys, number 2. And guess what he was doing? Tucked up on wood. Thick wood cover with the jig. And he was only 10-15 feet away from that first one. We have pretty clear water, but we have wood, and what that wood does is it gives them something to tuck themselves under, even in this ultra clear water. It's not ultra clear, it's probably about 3-4 foot of clarity. These bass are probably tucked up under here, you know, and just waiting for an easy meal to come by. Probably bluegill. There are a ton of bluegill set up in this shallow water, and that bass was probably sitting, man, he was probably sitting in 6 inches of water. But the deal is, there are bluegill set up on here. There are tons of forage fish around here, so if those bass want an easy meal, they can just easily grab it. But I think that's what has that bass holding in this area. Here's number 2, guys. Bass number 3, I mean. Look at that one, folks. That's a good one right there, folks. On the jig. And he hit that one with me swimming it out of the cover. But look at that one. That's even bigger than the last one. You can tell they're starting to feed up. They got that gut on them. Beautiful, beautiful largemouth. Birthday bass, guys. Today's my birthday, and you gotta love catching pretty big bass on your birthday. I'd say that's a pretty good one. We'll let her go. So I'm still patterning these fish on wood cover. We have some laydowns here, and where the thickest branches are coming down into the water, that's where I'm throwing my jig. I don't care how thick it is. Like, I just want to get my jig in there. I'm not concerned about getting it hung up. And we have bluegill here. There are tons of bluegill up on this wood cover, and those bass are just taking their pick at these bluegill. You have forage, and you have cover, and you have the predators. Another little one, guys. That could have just as well been a big one. I'll bring you up to speed here. I probably haven't had a fish bite for maybe 40 minutes. And what I was doing was I was just using a process of elimination. Just a little guy there. But what I found was there's a bunch of shad up off this flat over here. But I threw a crankbait and nothing was biting the crank. There's tons of forage over there, but I just couldn't get a darn bass to bite. I also tried fishing a worm, like I said, in some various cover and off a point and on some breaks, and I just wasn't getting bit, so I ditched that. The sun is not showing up yet, so I think as long as the sun isn't going to pop out, these bass just might hang shallow as long as they can up in these trees. So came over here, first spot, a new tree, and sure as heck I get bit again. So I'm not going to ditch this tree fishing. This is just too good. And generally I pull some of my biggest fish out doing this, so I might as well just stick with this pattern until that sun comes out and makes some big changes. There we go. Boy, that was unexpected. Oh, goodness. Alright, folks, here's another keeper for us on the jig. Close quarters. Oh my goodness, I didn't even expect him. All of a sudden I thought I was hung up on a tree. And we get a bass all the same. Try to get him unstuck here. You're gonna be the one I wish I brought my pliers out. Nope, we got him unstuck. So there we go, guys. There's fish number 3 that I find acceptable in the size range I like to catch. I don't know, probably 16 or something. We'll get him back, but we got a bunch of, I'm still holding to that wood pattern. These fish are just, they're up on wood. I can't find them anywhere else, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm in 2.4 feet of water, and this whole thing, again, it's just a giant mud flat. These fish are keying in on shallow forage and wood. That is what they're doing. That's what they've been doing all morning. We got some sun coming up. With the sun coming in, we got tons of blue skies finally making their way into the area. But we still got shade being cast by trees. And that might keep those fish up in those areas longer. Those fish will hold shallow as long as they can find some shade, whether it be from a tree over there or a lay down. Anything that creates shade will have those fish keep holding to shallow water just a little longer. As long as there's forage and wood, that seems to be the winning combination today. If you have both of those happening, you'll catch a bass. They're just right in behind them. They have everything they need, and why move if you got everything you need right there? They're lazy just like people. We like our food, we like our shelter. If we have it, we get cozy. So that is the pattern today. On a jig, all on a jig. All right, guys, number 4, good one. Again, back to filling you guys in on how I caught this one. Get him unstuck. Dang. We'll show them to you, then we'll talk about it. There we go, though, folks. That's number 4. That's a pretty good one, you know. Can't beat that. Bass number 4 in that good size. I love that size bass. Anything like that and bigger makes me really happy. Let him go and then we'll talk about it. So your flats are over here. And this is where right here is where the flats enter the main lake. And I'm in 15 feet of water. The fish are just stacked in here. And again, all I'm doing is I'm following the forage. It was getting slow. I'm not catching them shallow anymore. And I just see that the forage are stacked up over here. So that is why I decided to focus my efforts over here. I'm still using the jig. I've had such great luck with it all day long. And just gonna keep tossing out there to round out the day and see if we can't pick up at least one more. And they've been some good fish, so I'm really happy. I've caught quite a few smaller ones too, but if you can get 4 that size, that's a pretty good day by me. So we'll finish up this last 40 minutes and see if we can't pull out one more decent one. Another good one here, guys. Like I said, on a pile of fish. They're wild too. Wily. Ooh, that's a good one, guys. That's a big one. That's the one we want. Let's keep that fish low. We don't want that fish to get off. Oh my goodness, guys. That's the one of the day, folks. That's the big one. That's a 5-6 pounder. That's a big one. That's a big one. Let's get a look at this fish here, guys. Look at that largemouth, guys. That's a 5-6 pounder for sure. All day, giant bass, guys. Come on. Follow the forage and you will thrive. Look at that thing. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Follow that forage. Fish are stacked in there, guys. My side and down imaging is just marking tons of fish. I can't tell you if they're bass or carp, but fish are stacked. The forage is stacked up in here. And guess what the fish are doing? They're following the food source. What a day, guys. How about that? I can end on that. What a birthday fish, guys. That's some birthday fishing right there. Broken record, guys. Follow the forage, find the cover, and you will catch fish, guys. Giant bass, guys. Giant bass. 5-6 pounder. Can't beat it. I believe these fish are targeting shad though. So what I'm doing is I'm working this jig down the break, but I'm kind of swimming it every now and then. And what happened right there was that bass hit it on the fall of when I was swimming it. So I worked the jig down the break and then I swam it a little bit. And when that jig dropped, that fish picked it up and I set the hook on him. Biggest one of the day, folks. Middle of the day, 11 o'clock. Fishing in 15 feet of water, guys. Alright, folks, so I think I'm going to wrap it up with this cast here. It's been an absolutely phenomenal day. I think what really made it happen today is just using my intuition, following the forage, following all the signs that nature was giving me, and just staying on cover. Early this morning, like I mentioned, they were on that wood. We had the cloud cover and it just kept those fish shallow for quite some time. And once that bite kind of slowed down, I came out here to deeper water and you know, they weren't on their regular break, they weren't on the point, they were on this hard break. I'm in 17 feet of water. I am not too far from the bank. And that fish, those two last fish came out of, I think, 13 to 14 feet of water. And they were some nice fish. So just follow that forage, you know, use your intuition, stay where the forage is. That is just so important. Forage and cover. Like, I just cannot stress that enough. I think that is what made the day what it was. Stayed on cover, stayed on the forage, and found the predators. I'm going to take off, and y'all take care. And if you dig this stuff, please follow me. Hey, good morning, guys. I just wanted to get on here real quick this morning and apologize for cutting you guys short on the water the other day. The wind came in real hot and just smoked my microphone. All that aside, though, I do want to take time to truly thank you guys for the views, the comments, the new subscriptions. We got some new people getting on board with what I'm doing, and I really appreciate the engagement. It means a lot to me, so thank you for that. We're going to get out again this weekend. I have no idea what we're going to do, but we're going to be out on another trip, and we're going to learn some more about fish, and that's what it's all about. I'm learning, I'm helping you guys learn, and it's just all a really good time for me. So in the meantime, you guys take care, have a great week, and I'll see you guys next time on the water. Have a good one, guys. Take care.